It is a delight to welcome into the program this morning Greg Hopfe, who is the Senior Vice President and the Executive Producer for PGA Tour Entertainment. And PGA Tour Entertainment, you may be familiar with because of the 4 channels weekly that stream, called the main coverage, the marquee group coverage, the featured group coverage, maybe the dedicated hole coverage. It can even be specialty coverage like we did for the Mexico Open with the dedicated Spanish channel. It is a way for you to see your golf from stem to stern, many times from the first tee shot struck until the very last for players that are amongst your favorites. Very unique, very popular, and available weekly on ESPN+. Delighted to have Greg on the show to talk about that, to talk about their new digs, to talk about everything that's going on right now at the Players. Greg, how are you? Are you getting any sleep this week?
We're doing okay, Matt. We're looking forward to Sunday night, but it's all good. It's a pleasure to do what we do here at the PGA Tour, and this is our biggest week. So thanks for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure to have you on the program. So it's a question for me of where to start because there are so many different avenues with you right now. I guess the place that's amongst the exciting developments that you have is your brand new PGA Tour Entertainment headquarters. Could you give the world some sense of the scale of what you guys did?
It's pretty breathtaking. It is 165,000 square feet, state of the art facility, spared no expense on technology. Compared to our other place, this studio has 8 control rooms and 7 studios, where our
Wow.
place in St. Augustine had 1 studio and 2 control rooms. And the biggest note about this, Matt, is it was built with the eye from the board on down of this being a facility 30 to 35 years. So we actually have 30% unallocated space, room for growth. So aside from those 8 control rooms, we can go up to 13 and we could go up to 12 studios. So it's not even close to the place we moved out of. And like I said, it's one of the biggest, best state of the art facilities in the country.
There's no doubt about that. But the question, I guess, would be then if you're looking forward 30 years, what is the vision? What's the reason why the PGA Tour and the board that you mentioned said, yeah, we're ready to make this kind of investment?
It's really about scale, right? I mean, prime example is this week we launched our first ever world feed. So that is going to over to 200 countries and territories in 30 languages, our product now. And what it allows us to do is because we have this facility, we can bring in so many more feeds. We can bring up to 144 live feeds. So we're going to get every camera angle from the networks as well as our PGA Tour live feeds. And the facility, like I said, with the state of the art infrastructure, allows us to scale up, right? So that's just scratching the surface. We're doing the world feed, and we can get a little bit more into that if you want to. But
Mm-hmm.
the dream or vision is this place allows us to do localized feeds, right? We could be doing down the road, we could be doing a Hideki Matsuyama feed for Asia, Victor Hovland for Norway. We could take on other tours, right? If they wanted to come in here and use this facility or ask us to produce it, we have the room to absolutely grow. And it's really about just scale and being the epicenter of golf.
Yeah, it is really, really impressive, folks. As you guys know, I'm very proud to be a part of PGA Tour Entertainment and the coverage that we feature on ESPN Plus. I will be hosting one of those live world feeds coming up, I think, in a week and a half from now, approximately. So that world feed that you were talking about, you mentioned specifically just now, Greg, 200 countries. Did I hear you correctly?
That's right. Our international department, I can't get over my skis here. They have the exact networks and the exact regions, but to over 200 countries with 30 languages.
So, how has it changed life for you in terms of having something of this scale had to mean that you guys had to expand in terms of the people whose hands touch the product that you do week in and week out?
We do, Matt, and you know, you work closely with our team. We've had some expansion in producers and directors, and technicians for sure. Engineers in this facility is much more needed than the place we were at. And it's funny because golf is a unique sport, right? I've done different sports in my career, and golf is so unique. There's you do baseball. I've done baseball, hockey, basketball. There's one stadium. There's one ball. There's a TV timeout, or the inning is over, and that's when you go to commercial. In golf, there's 18 stadiums. There's 18 balls in the air at the same time. There's no commercial timeout. So finding people that can do that and know when to go to break and know how to birdie from bogey, and you've seen how many people we have in here. We have 6 producers a week that are working just on ESPN Plus. That doesn't count the world feed. That doesn't count Corn Ferry and Champions Tour, which some people don't understand or realize that we actually do that for the Golf Channel. They air, but it comes right out of our facility. Champs Tour with Bob Papa and Paul Azinger, and Corn Ferry Tour with Shane Bacon and James Nitties. So we have the deepest and best golf production people in the country in this building.
Hey, Andrew, can you slow down this video for me just a little bit? Because we now have the very unique opportunity of having Greg Hopfe with us. And Greg, if you would do us the honor, as this drone flies through your incredible facility, could you do the voiceover for us? Tell us what we're looking at.
This is the 3rd floor where we have all our content creators, social media, original content. That whole area there, our live team. And when we designed it, it was so that they could all collaborate. We didn't have this in our old facility, and we are literally going over all the content departments. And this is the only area in the building that is designed for collaboration. The rest is kind of cordoned off edit suites, and then this is, speaking of which, this is an edit suite. There's edit suites, there's studios, there's control rooms, but that was really the biggest collab effort. A unique, interesting note here on the blue here is Gary Koch's Better Than Most call, the sound wave of that call. And we have a QR code now installed where if you go by there, you can actually click on it and you'll hear Gary's call. So that's a kind of a little Easter egg in the building. And then I'm pretty sure this is going to take a turn into one place we're really proud of, which is the executive screening room. We never had this before, and this is where, if Full Swing is debuting, we can have a team go in there. Our executive teams can screen in there and watch anything. I'm still trying to push for a
you are, dude.
I'm eating some popcorn. But it's an incredible room and something that we've never had to show in our previous building or anything that I've worked in here at the tour.
It sounds very, very exciting indeed. I fear I could talk to you in our entire interview just about this facility, and folks, it would be with merit, I can assure you, because it has all the creature comforts too, including an incredible commissary, a cafe area where you can go in and get food that's the same quality as if you went out to a 5-star restaurant. It's that good. It's that impressive, and that's the level of class that they have done everything with in this building. You can tell why we're so excited about it. However, we are in the middle of the Players. And every year, Greg, you come on with us and you wow us with the latest technology and the latest innovations, and you've already done that, incidentally. However, let's get into the nitty-gritty in terms of the viewing experience and how people can consume and are consuming the Players in 2025.
Yeah, it's a big list. It started on Wednesday with the rain show on the Golf Channel. We've done 12 of those, or going to do 12 of them this year. That was earlier in the day, and then the second ever Creator Classic aired on YouTube, Golf Channel, and various platforms. That had the Bryan brothers, and if you watch the one in Atlanta, very similar fields, highly successful, probably a demographic a little younger than me, but still trying to reach a new audience with that. And then competitions days, it's busy. We have all 4 of our PGA Tour live streams. For the second time this year, we've done a betting stream, channel or stream 4, our feature hole stream. We'll have 2 hours of betting coverage. We changed the graphics package to look like ESPN Bet. If you've seen their material and their shows on their linear coverage, we have Jonathan Coachman, Graham Dillette, Kevin Clark, Pam Maldonado, all their betting experts join us. We do that for 2 hours, 4 days a week. And then we have our All Access Every Shot Live, which we've done for about 5 or 6 years now. The only event we've done this at, we station 144 cameras out. It's a combination of entertainment cameras as well as NBC cameras. And so if you go onto our app or our website, you can pick any group, and there is no announce, but it's automated, and it pretty much goes with every shot. First hole, Ricky Fowler tees off, there's a catch, and then graphics come up. Shot graphics, so it informs you of what's going on. There's also a kind of unique immersive technology that can really only be viewed. It's called Cosm is the name of the company, and they have facilities in Dallas and Los Angeles. It's the first time we're ever doing that, and they have massive LED screens. I get the sense, I've never been there. I get the sense it's kind of like the Sphere in Vegas, a little smaller, obviously, but they put cameras on 16, 17, and 18. So if you're in those facilities, you can see a very immersive experience. And then, as I talked about, World Feed launch, that's just some of the things that are going on here.
Now, your relationship with ESPN Plus obviously has been a part of the wings, if you will, that has brought all this to the world. Could you talk to us about how and why you decided to go with ESPN, ESPN Plus, and how that relationship continues to evolve?
Yeah, well, again, that's a little bit more about our negotiation team, but ESPN definitely came to the negotiation table very serious about getting back into golf, right? I mean, the golf's been missing from ESPN and ABC for quite some time. So it was a perfect opportunity for the two entities to reunite. And it's been really great to have them back in the fold with us. And I think, from their perspective, I don't mean to speak for them, but I think it's been a win for them too. It's the highest, most consumed product on their platform. We have over 4,500 hours a year on it. I think it's tailor made for them, right? Because most people in the office Thursday and Friday, and as you know, Matt, back in the day before we had this streaming service of any kind, you turn on the Golf Channel at 3 o'clock. Ricky Fowler's got a 65, and all you see is a 2-minute highlight package of them. Not only does ESPN show you all that untapped content that was out there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday mornings, but you also could tailor it and watch it anytime. And it's a second stream experience too, right? Like what I find interesting in looking at the numbers is on Sunday, let's just pick Rory McIlroy's, in the last group, the second last group. The network is still showing him, but our numbers are really good. And I think there's two things about watching someone play that you can watch every single thing they do as a second stream experience on Sunday and Saturday, even during linear coverage. That's one benefit. The other benefit is I don't think people have ever really had a chance to see every single shot of a group or a player, right? It's interesting, and you probably have called these. Sometimes these guys shoot 75s, and you're seeing every single shot. And that's not something you see on network golf coverage. So you see that, why I struggle on Saturday and Sunday. Some of these guys are out there shooting 74s and 75s, and that's a struggle too. That's the tough side of things. We've also been lucky enough to have, I think, two or three first ever 59s where you've seen every single shot. Sneds was one of them. He was the first
cool.
one. And if you think about it, like network coverage with all those other 59s, 58s, they were joined in progress, right? So we've had three that we've covered from start to finish where every shot's been captured and broadcast.
Incredible. And the neat thing about what Greg is discussing with you guys, when you watch the best in the world, that 74, 75 that he was referencing, many times we've seen a 74, 75 turn into a 68. So you get to watch that magic happening too. The other part of it that I love personally is that we have this forum and this opportunity to introduce you to players that you may not otherwise know very well. So you get to know their game. For example, he was referencing that 59 with Jake Knapp. We had that shot by shot. You had Brian Katrick, you had John McGinnis out there covering the whole thing. It was absolutely brilliant and, yes, historic coverage. One of the assignments that I enjoy in particular, Greg, is getting the featured hole assignment. And the reason why I like it so much is that for the people at home, you get to see the entire field coming through. So while we have featured groups, while we have marquee groups, while we have our main coverage, which is all great, when you are on that dedicated hole, you get to see an entire field play the exact same hole. How do they play it? How do they approach it? What shapes do they take in? What trajectories do they use? Do they rely on the putter? Do they rely on the wedge, etc.? I think it's absolutely fabulous. The question that begs to be asked, though, and you reveal as much as you please, Greg, how is ESPN feeling about the whole project? How excited are they with what's going on ESPN Plus?
Yeah, I mean, the feedback we've gotten from them is they're thrilled to have it. Thrilled to have us back in the mix. It's a nice compliment. Now they are back in the mix with Masters and PGA of America and PGA Championship. So it's expanded their golf portfolio. We talk to their executives at the end of every year, and Mike McQuaid, their primary golf executive, will call me anytime he wants and gives me feedback. But they really love what we do. Like I said, it expands their portfolio. It's one of the most consumed products on ESPN Plus. Which, if you look at all they have to offer, that's an impressive point right there.
No
And
doubt.
yeah, I mean, I think they love it.
Greg, Mike McQuaid and I started in the mailroom together at ESPN back in the day.
You guys have both risen quite a ways from that mailroom.
At least one of us, and he has. All right, Greg, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your company. You know, we're super pumped about everything that you guys are doing this week for the players and everything that you're doing at large. Congratulations to you and your team. Very much looking forward to seeing you guys shortly.
Yeah, Matt and Dom, thanks for having me. Appreciate, Matt, you being part of our ESPN team and our WorldFeed team. Looking forward to such an exciting product with you.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.